We did a couple experiments last time on compression, which I know went over fairly well. I always enjoy that kind of stuff. I think that the more that we as the mixers and engineers and even producers, the more we understand the science behind what all this stuff can do and what it can't do. We separate the magic from the mojo. You know, some of these boxes have a mojo. There's a magic fairy dust they add, but they don't do certain things that we believe them to do, such as compressors that are not multi-band compressors are broadband compressors, meaning even though a certain compressor box, like an 1176, may have a character, a sound, it may add a sparkle, a fairy dust, a mid-range punch, something, it is not compressing certain frequencies more than others. Unless you're talking about something with a key gate where you can actually dial in what the threshold is listening to, but that's, you know, a higher level of compression. I'm talking about basic stuff. So I really enjoy understanding these experiments. If you guys remember, we set up the hi-hat with a sine wave, and we compressed that. And the power in that experiment, if you guys haven't done this, I strongly recommend doing it. Get a 1K sine wave, get an 808 hi-hat or a click or something, set the sine wave up, get the hi-hats so they're kind of like right in there, they kind of sound like a good blend, put a compressor on it, dial the attack and release, remember we did this, and you feel how the sine wave dips in response to the compressor. And that is what's happening on your master bus. When you put a stereo compressor directly in your master bus, it's effectively like someone on your fader dipping the fader for the whole mix. Now, granted,
turning it up different
certain
ways,
mojo might be there. You know what I mean? That could be a good thing, but it could also be detrimental if you're not aware of what's happening, if your ears aren't elevated to a level because you haven't taken the time to train them on the minutia, on the small stuff, on really understanding the science behind all these boxes that we know and love. And they can be tone boxes as well. They really can be. Tubes, transformers, distortion, gain, anything like that. So the other thing that we reviewed last time was release is effectively a character control, almost like a tilt knob. Whereas some people say, I set the release on my compressor to the tempo of the song, I say don't stop there. Set the release character of your compressor based on how much high frequency content you want, how much distortion in the upper range, because as you recall, when we had the pink noise through and we turned the release all the way to fast, it got brighter, right? So that's very powerful. And if you haven't done that experiment, if you're tuning in right now, set up a test tone, pink noise, put it through an 1176, put it at like -10 gain reduction, put the attack wherever you want, get it compressing, and then dial the release around and listen to how it changes the tonality of the signal that's going through it, because these are the things that we don't hear when we're dealing with this complex sine wave and you're really pumping up energy, or you've compressed it and now you're gaining it up and you're like, ooh, louder is better, but you maybe don't realize that you distorted all the high end. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know, it's totally content dependent, but I want to help bring these kind of scientific approaches so that when you're in the studio and you're working on something, you've already done all these exercises and you just grab it and go, and you listen to it and you go, oh, that's the right amount of high end, and it's releasing in the beat and is doing all the things I want it to do. Wait, no, now it's too bright. Or, maybe this guitar should have more top end and I need to compress it for other reasons. What if I marry those into one step instead of compressing it and then putting a high shelf on it?